So here's one that kind of flew under the radar, at least for me, for us here at the studio. It's the V50 Thin Q from LG. Call me crazy, I think this is the first 5G device we've had on the show. Is that correct, Will? Yeah, I think it is, Will. Flagship level type of specs. It's got the 855 Snapdragon in it. Over here, this makes it quite a bit different. The dual screen accessory. It's almost like two phones in a sandwich. Anyway, let's look at the phone first. The cleaning cloth, a little microfiber, penta camera, so 3 on the back, 2 on the front. Dual screen support, that's what I'm excited to check out. And of course, Google Assistant built into a dedicated button. We have a fast charge power brick. We have a Type C to Type A cable, as well as a C to A adapter included in the box. And they've also included a headset, braided cable in there, and interchangeable ear tips, mini jack, so it still keeps a headphone jack. Ooh. No camera hump. I mean, what's this worth to you? I'm not really sure. I guess it depends on the individual, but what I like about it, obviously, you can place it flat on the table. There's absolutely no bump to it. This little connector at the bottom, that maybe comes into play for the dual screen setup, maybe some other accessories. It's a nano SIM and a micro SD, so expandable storage. People are gonna like that. You have that dedicated assistant switch below the 2 volume buttons. USB Type C, fast charge capable, obviously, and the dedicated headphone jack that I mentioned earlier. On the front, you have the dual setup. This, a kind of a rarity now. Of course, the previous Pixel device did this. The new one probably won't. We'll boot it up and we'll check those out. Oh, that 5G logo just lit up. Ooh. If you're not into the notch lifestyle, the look of having the notch at the top, so they give you the option out of the gate to black out that section of screen to make it look like a more traditional bezel. Now, what happens when you do that is the phone can look a bit antiquated. But I like the fact that they give you the option right out of the gate. I'm not a huge notch fan myself. Of course, we have options available to us now that don't have any notch associated. If you're gonna have a notch, the ability to turn it off is nice, especially when the brand gives you the option during the setup. It also gives you an option immediately for your button layout. So you can go with a home touch button style or a button combination. The mapping on the bottom changes if I switch between them. You can move the back button around, the home button around. You can go with the more typical Android layout, which is how I'm gonna keep it for now. All right, so it's booted up now. It's the first glimpse at the display. This is 6.4 inches, 3120 by 1440. It's POLED. It's LG's POLED. The main camera on the back is 16 megapixels. It has 6 gigs of RAM. I told you it has Snapdragon 855 with the 5G radio built in. It has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. I mean, it's pretty much flagship specifications. 128 gigs of storage on this model in front of me, but it's got a price tag to match. It's very expensive. So it started out around $1,150. You could probably find it for less now, I would assume. It's just tough. It's about twice the price of some competitors that put a spec list very similar in place. I don't know, maybe it's got your feature set on it, but it's just tough to justify at that price point. Now it is IP68, so it's gonna be pretty durable also. It's Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and actually Gorilla Glass 6 on the back. So I was a bit concerned with the flush mounted cameras on the back side, but Gorilla Glass 6 is pretty good stuff, so it's probably gonna protect the glass that's over top of those lenses. Speaking of those lenses, why don't we just jump right into those? This is your focal range on the main camera. Once again, 16 megapixels, capable as well of shooting 4K video. Take that photo. All right, now we can get the zoom on. Ooh, that's a pretty nice looking zoom, actually. I like the way the focus takes place too. It grabs it nice and quick, and there's like a vibration on the phone when you have grabbed focus to let you know that you should snap. And here's the wide angle. Now, important to remember, LG was one of the first to give us a wide angle lens on the back of a smartphone. So they kind of pioneered in that space, and now other brands have it. So I'll snap this photo. That's the wide one. So if we do a quick comparison here, there's your wide. Now it looks like maybe some HDR effects are taking place slightly. That's a very bright green happening there. Here's your zoom in version. And you know what? They've kind of kept the quality. I've been noticing a quality difference on multi-camera setups when you go to like the ultra wide. It can get soft in the focus department. This one is not soft. And then of course, the best looking one is the main camera. There's a lot of other modes available. There's a studio mode here, which is gonna do some fancy lighting effects. There's of course also portrait mode. I've rarely been a fan of these modes. This one allows you to control the amount of blur that you're getting, so you can kind of tune it yourself. There's also an AI cam mode that aims to figure out what it is you're shooting. And there's a full out manual mode for the pros out there. If we flip the camera around, the 2-lens setup, what a lot of other manufacturers have started doing with the single lens setup, just having it crop in a little bit, but really you're just cropping into the same sensor. This one, on the other hand, has 2 front-facing cameras. But the issue I have here is it's not a huge difference. When I click between the two, I mean, yeah, it's wider, but it's not massively wider. Maybe when I'm in landscape, it'll be more pronounced, but he's still in the frame there. In this wide over here at a full reach, I could get a group of people. I could get 3, 4 people. And I'll take a wide one as well. I'm quite happy with that. That is the standard lens before you click the wide. See how you still see the complexion here? You see the pores and whatnot. If I switch over to the wider one, ooh, it's more of the same, maybe even nicer in fact. Quite a bit wider. And if I go in just to give you a little more detail, it's all there. So the standard camera is 8 megapixels and the other one is 5. I mean, that's, as far as a 5 megapixel selfie is concerned, that's pretty good. It goes to show you, I mean, it's not all about the megapixel count. There's other factors involved. And you know, what's interesting to me here is how close they are. The color temperature, like, if there was no major color shift, it's not obvious that it's shot on a completely different camera. That can happen on a lot of devices. So actually, just in this environment, I'm pretty happy with the camera performance here. It's promising. Let's see how it works for dialogue. We're gonna bring up the Lou Later show here. That gives you an idea of your screen real estate that's available to you with your notch when you're zoomed into a YouTube video. And now I'm gonna go ahead and also boost up the volume so we can get a sense for that.
Today, I don't know if it was today, maybe yesterday. The Galaxy, you know what you do well?
Very muffled, lacking detail, lacking clarity. LG lets you go crazy with the configuration on your audio. There's an equalizer in there, vocal booster. I got the DTS on. They do have the hi-fi quad DAC built in, but of course, that's enabled for external audio.
So I actually like the look of this. That's just a render.
Oh man, it's really lacking in the detail, in the crispness. Granted, if you go ahead and plug some headphones in, I'm sure it's gonna sound great. Ooh, I kind of like how it changes the volume slider into these tiny little increments. So you can get the exact volume you want. Like, it's out of 100. Man. It sounds nice. You see, this stuff at the bottom gets unlocked as soon as you plug headphones in. And it's not just these headphones that are included in the box and allow you to turn on the hi-fi quad DAC. It's like a whole level of sound presets, bass that's available to you. But yeah, these sound great. But of course, this is the main attraction. That's what you've all been waiting for. What kind of mad scientist in the laboratory came up with this stuff over here? It's cool. It's a gadget. That's what I'm in it for. Look at that. I mean, you see the Korean writing and you know it's for real. Look at this thing. You want to watch a video and be chatting and be working. I'm into this. Wow, look at that. That's the whole screen right there. That's... Oh, and that's easy. Turn on dual screen. Look. That's kind of fun. We got a wow from Jack on that. This guy doesn't have any wows to give. Look at this. Okay. We're doing something cool right now. Boom. That doesn't look too crazy. That's not too fat or heavy. Let's say you're just working like this, dual screen. Then you got to put it in your pocket. You have the option at this point of closing it in the typical clamshell fashion like this, or you're going to fold this around back like that. Why would you ever bother with that when you could be like this? Oh my God, swap screen. It's so smooth and seamless. This is how I would do it. You have like this, Jack, you're watching a video. You're watching a video, you're just reading some stuff. You're just doing some research as you would, guy like you. For gaming, this is way more comfortable. You could map, you could have your controls down here, put the game up there. Come on, Jack, that's cool, no? Is that cool? I can swap screens, show main on dual screen, show dual on main, put main to sleep, or turn off dual screen. So if you show main on dual, you open this back up to go get your apps and all. You go back to like the home page on this. The swap, it literally swaps. I don't think you live your whole life with your phone inside of here. I mean, I could give you a pocket. I mean, that's not crazy. Okay. It actually comes out really easily, but it's a very light phone. So the accessory doesn't make it crazy heavy collectively. Here, and you just kind of do this. Pull it out. It's easier than a lot of cases. That's useful. Get the headphone jack, multimedia thing. Will, how much is this extra display? I'ma guess the extra display is $199. $190? Isn't this? Been in this. Been doing this. The phone is really expensive to begin with, which is kind of the problem. The phone is already $1,100 and then $199. It's a whole thing. If you don't spend a lot of time on a laptop or a tablet, for $199, you really change the way you can interact with your phone with this accessory right here. You really change what a phone represents potentially from a gaming perspective, from a multimedia perspective. It becomes like a little mini laptop. It's so cool, crazy, it's fun. I kind of like it.